Speak up, Skull Nation. Glowing Star today, we have a bombshell to discuss in the Vikings and NFL universe. Brian Flores, our defensive genius, is at the center of a court case that promises to shake up the league structures. That will change the direction of the NFL? And how could this directly impact our beloved Minnesota Vikings? If you're a passionate Vikings fan, you already know that Flores has been a key player in transforming our defense. But he's also a protagonist in a battle that goes far beyond the field, a fight for justice and equality that involves the NFL itself. Today, we'll explore the details of this explosive story and what it means for all of us. Before we begin, I want to hear from you. What is your opinion on the NFL and its hiring policy? Do you think we are close to a revolution, or will this take longer? Leave your answer in the comments, because I will read everything, and who knows, you might appear in the next video. Now let's get to the full story. Brian Flores is much more than just a defensive coordinator. He's the guy who brought strategy, intensity, and a winning mentality to the Vikings. Since he arrived, he's been a real difference maker for our team. But did you know that behind this incredible professional is a story of struggle that is shaking up the foundations of the NFL? Flores entered the league as a promising prospect and quickly showed that he is a natural leader. But when he took over as head coach of the Dolphins, he not only faced opponents on the field, but also internal challenges that tested his ethics and determination. It was at that moment that his journey took on the contours of a movie. Today, with his lawsuit against the NFL, Flores is fighting not just for himself, but for systemic change. That's the kind of courage that defines great leaders on and off the field. And now, with new details emerging, it appears that battle is far from over. Before he shone with the Vikings, Brian Flores was the coach of the Miami Dolphins. In 3 seasons, he achieved a record of 24 wins and 25 losses. It may even seem average, but it is important to remember that he took over a team in a complete rebuild. What's more, one of the seasons was marked by a blatant attempt by the franchise to lose on purpose, the famous tanking. Even with this adverse situation, Flores managed to get the most out of the team. He transformed a team that no one took seriously into a competitive team, with memorable victories and a solid defense. This only proves how brilliant he is as a strategist and leader. However, even with these results, he was unexpectedly fired. The decision to fire him sparked outrage among many fans and pundits. After all, how could such a promising coach be let go so quickly? That's when the story took a turn. Flores revealed that there was much more going on behind the scenes, including unethical practices and discrimination, which led him to file a lawsuit against the NFL. Flores' firing was a shock, but it was also a wake-up call to bigger issues within the NFL. He said his departure from the Dolphins was tied to issues that went far beyond on-field results. Flores said he was pressured to intentionally lose games, and when he refused, that marked the end of his time as head coach. After leaving the Dolphins, he interviewed for other head coaching jobs. It was during that process that he noticed a disturbing pattern, a lack of real opportunities for minority coaches. That realization prompted him to file a lawsuit against the NFL, alleging racial discrimination in its hiring process. The case quickly gained national attention, with players, coaches, and even celebrities supporting Flores. He became the voice of a larger cause, fighting for talent of all backgrounds to have an equal chance in the league. But how does this affect his future and, more importantly, the Vikings? Flores' lawsuit has recently gained new momentum. According to reports released Friday, there is new evidence that strengthens his claims against the NFL. This information points to practices that, if confirmed, could change the way the league handles hiring and team management. The NFL, as expected, has denied all allegations. But the case remains ongoing, and with new evidence, pressure on the league is mounting. Flores is not only seeking justice for himself, but for all the coaches and professionals who silently face the same challenges. And while that battle rages on, we Vikings fans are fortunate to have him as our defensive coordinator. Flores is showing that it is possible to fight for change and still deliver incredible results on the field. What an example. Do you want me to continue expanding the other scenes, or adjust anything so far? Brian Flores' arrival to the Vikings was a real blessing for the team. From the beginning, It was clear that he would be a key player in transforming a defense that had struggled in recent years. His experience, combined with his ability to inspire players, brought a new energy to the team that had been missing. But it is impossible to ignore the impact that the legal process could have both on his image and on the team. Flores is in the spotlight, and the narrative surrounding him goes far beyond football. This situation requires the franchise to support its coordinator, showing solidarity with the cause he represents. And so far, the Vikings have done exactly that. In the meantime, for the fans, the question that won't go away is, how long will we have Flores on our team? If he continues with this brilliant work, it is almost certain that he will be called for a head coaching position soon. But in the meantime, we need to make the most of his presence on the team. The Vikings defense under Brian Flores has been a spectacle in itself. In just a few months, he has managed to implement a system that has valued individual talents and strengthened the collective. Players who were once underrated are now shining, and the results are showing in the statistics. To give you an idea, the third down defense, which was a big problem last season, has improved considerably. With Flores, the Vikings are showing more aggression, constant pressure on the opposing quarterback, and much more efficient coverage downfield. This is the kind of change that can take the team far. Furthermore, his leadership goes beyond tactics. Flores is known for his ability to connect with his players, creating an environment of trust and commitment. This makes all the difference in the team's mentality and the way they approach each game. You can feel the change in the air, can't you? But Brian Flores' fight goes far beyond the football field. His legal battle against the NFL is a milestone in an issue that has been debated for years: equal opportunities for minority coaches. Despite being a league dominated by black players, the presence of minority head coaches is still incredibly low, something that needs to change. Flores is willing to confront this system head-on. He has stated many times that his intention is to open doors for future coaches who face the same challenges he did. This is a fight for justice, but also for a more inclusive and diverse future in the sport we love. And that makes us wonder, is the NFL really willing to change? Or is this just the beginning of a long battle? The important thing is that leaders like Flores are doing their part, and we, as fans, can also support this cause, showing that we want a more fair and representative league. The Vikings are in a fortunate position to have Brian Flores on their coaching staff. It's not every day you find a defensive coordinator with this combination of skills: strategic mind, leadership experience, and a fighting spirit that inspires the entire team. What makes Flores so special is his ability to adapt to any situation. He can adjust his defense on the fly, exploiting his opponent's weaknesses and maximizing his team's strengths. It's exactly the kind of tactical intelligence that can take the Vikings to the next level. Furthermore, Flores is an example of resilience. He is facing a huge battle off the field, but that doesn't stop him from delivering results on it. It shows his strength of character and why he is so respected, not only by the Vikings, but throughout the league. But what if Brian Flores leaves? That's a question that's already on many fans' minds. With the incredible job he's doing, it's inevitable that other NFL teams will try to hire him as their head coach. After all, his talent is undeniable, and there are several franchises in need of a leader like him. Just imagine the situation. We lost Flores, and we need to find someone suitable to command the defense. This will not be easy, especially since he is creating a system that is very specific and unique. Replacing him will be a huge challenge for the franchise. But for now, we can speculate and imagine what the future holds. Will he stick around long enough to lead the Vikings to the top? Or will his next head coaching opportunity come quicker than we expect? Only time will tell, but Vikings fans definitely want him to stay as long as possible. Do you want me to continue with the remaining scenes, or do you want to adjust any details so far? Now, let's turn to the new evidence that is strengthening Brian Flores' case against the NFL. According to the latest reports, documents and testimony have been found that corroborate allegations of discriminatory practices during the hiring process. This includes interviews that were conducted solely to meet quotas and not with the intent to hire. This type of revelation is devastating for the NFL, which has faced criticism for years for its lack of diversity in leadership positions. Flores is not only exposing the issue, but also creating a platform for other professionals to join his fight. Each new piece of evidence adds weight to the case, and the impact could be historic. And you know what's most inspiring? Despite all the chaos this process may cause, Flores remains focused on his work with the Vikings. He's proving he can fight two battles at once, one on the legal field and one on the football field. It's impressive, don't you think? The NFL's response to this new evidence has been predictable. Deny everything and claim to be committed to diversity. But do fans and pundits believe it? The league has faced harsh criticism in the past for symbolic actions that have failed to lead to real change, and the Flores case only reinforces the need for concrete action. Meanwhile, the public is divided. Many support Flores and see his courage as a catalyst for change. But there are those who believe he is going against a system that is already fair enough. This polarization only heightens the importance of the case and puts more pressure on the NFL to respond convincingly. And for us Vikings fans, this situation creates a mixture of pride and concern. We are proud to have a leader like Flores, but we also know that this could bring unwanted attention to the team. Still, one thing is certain. We are on the right side of history. Brian Flores is the kind of leader who inspires not only his players, but his fans as well. His tough demeanor, work ethic, and passion for what he does are qualities we all admire. He is not afraid to take on challenges and is always looking for ways to improve, whether it's defending the Vikings or fighting for justice in the NFL. This strength as a leader is directly reflected in the team's performance. The players believe in him, trust his decisions, and give their all on the field. Flores doesn't just teach tactics. He also creates an environment of mutual accountability, where each player knows his role and the impact he can have on the team's success. As a fan, it's impossible not to be inspired by someone like that. Flores reminds us that football is about more than just the scoreboard. It's about fighting for something bigger, whether on or off the field. And that's exactly what makes him such a special figure for the Vikings and the NFL as a whole. Now, it's your turn to chime in, Skull Nation. What do you think about this situation involving Brian Flores and the NFL? Do you believe this lawsuit can actually bring about meaningful change for the league? Or do you think this will just be another story that will be forgotten over time? Also, what do you think of his impact on the Vikings so far? Is he the kind of leader who can turn an average defense into an elite unit? Or do you think we still need more pieces to truly compete with the best teams in the NFL? Leave your opinion in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. And who knows, maybe your answer will appear in the next video. After all, here on our channel, the fan's voice is what matters most. Skull Nation, once again, we are watching history being written before our eyes. Brian Flores is leading a charge that could forever change the way the NFL operates, and we as Vikings fans are honored to be with him on this journey. He is not only a brilliant defensive coordinator, he is an example of courage and determination. Now, if you like this content and want to continue following everything about the Vikings, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any updates. Here, we bring you the hottest news and the most passionate analyses about our team. And of course, share this video with other Vikings fans and even NFL fans. Let's spread this discussion and show that we are on the side of those who fight for justice and equality. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Skull, Purple Heart.